What's up guys, and welcome to another episode of El Jardín Perdido. Today, we're pruning a stone fruit. Alright guys, so in a few videos previously, I've shown you my now 8-in-1 stone fruit tree. It's been around for a few years, really hardy, hasn't bared too much fruit yet, but these grafts are relatively new. The main problem is the original tree I kind of let branch off, and it is getting a ton of water shoots. I've admittedly neglected the garden a little bit this year. I have an upcoming video where you'll see me clean the whole thing up, but in this process, I did want to have a separate video covering how to take care of these water shoots. Now, water shoots are gonna be like really vigorous growth going straight up, and they're taking a lot of energy from the tree. And in this case, since we want some of this energy directed towards these grafts I've done, they're doing pretty well, but a lot of them could use a little more direct energy. We're gonna maintain that. I'm going to attempt to use a pole saw. If it's too harsh, it kind of depends on how hard the wood is on this, but if it's too harsh, I'll go manual and get a ladder and just use a hand saw. I'll cover this a little more after the fact, but when you do vigorous pruning any time of year, you do need to seal those wounds, and I'll show you a product that I use for that. So as you can see, this growth going straight up here, we have a nice open canopy, but that growth is problematic, just too much. All right, so we're gonna get real wide here, and we're just gonna see how this goes with the saw. And I don't think it has a gauge to slow it down, which would be nice, but let's see what she's got. So I'm gonna come at each branch on each side. And it looks like the wood's hard enough that it should be good. Yeah. Fairly clean cut. All right, I did notice that this was a little rough on the bark, so I'll be a little careful. Maybe go a little higher up on this one. Come on the other side. Yeah, so in looking at these cuts, of course, that's not great, and that's cutting flush like you're supposed to. Right there, this probably isn't gonna work out. So I'm probably gonna have to go manual, but I may take out the bigger things first and then clean it up manually. Yeah, so new game plan is taking out as much bulk as I can and then coming in clean and taking off those little nubs nice and close to the trunk. That's a big one. That's just, yeah, that'd be considered a water shoot too. That's on the graft side. Right here, that's just encroaching too much on this other canopy. And we're already opening up a whole lot more. All right, without getting too crazy, I think that's gonna do it for now. As far as the bulk, let me show you guys what it looks like. So as you can see, it's just a lot more opened up. Anything else that I take care of is gonna be cleaning it up with the hand pruner and just making sure we're nice and flush. All right, got quite a mess up here. So yeah, as you can see, we had a few nicks. While it did cut flush, that is definitely not ideal. The other ones I took a little further up, so you can see they're pretty gnarly. This is actually going to make it a lot easier to cut it flush like you should. This is iPhone up a ladder sawing with one hand. But taking off that top portion is going to prevent a lot of splintering, splitting, stuff like that. I'm not going to take this one all the way down, but I will clean it up. I will say that it's a lot harder to get leverage with one hand, but we'll just give you guys one more look. And I'm cutting at a somewhat angle to make sure any water can run off. While I'm cutting that was that first with the saw. This is a little more clean. So the ones that I can, I'm gonna cut flush like that, but some of these other ones have a little too much going on. I'm a little pressed for time. And these are probably some fruit spurs here that I'll leave. So while the other cuts aren't terrible, I'm gonna clean those off in a little bit. Here's the one I just did, nice and clean. While I'm here also, I can do a little maintenance. And if I see anything crisscrossing or tangled up or growing a little too out of control, I can hand prune here and just snip some of these. All right, and before I jump up there, kind of out of view, I know it's not the best vantage, but I did want to show you what I'll be applying. If you've seen this in my previous videos, this is the Ivy Organic 3-in-1 paint guard, but it's all natural and you know, diatomaceous earth, some essential oils. It's going to both protect against sun scald, protect against disease, fungal, bacterial, and as well as keep pests away. So this is something great. Something that I've seen in the past is people using tars and stuff. You don't want to do that because you want things to be able to breathe. This is permeable. Like I said, it's mostly diatomaceous earth on the base. But what this is going to do is allow things to just kind of heal over, stay protected, and eventually the bark will heal over itself anyway. But yeah, this is pre-mixed. I've made this before. All right, so I've already shaken this up. And we're just gonna dip the brush here. Probably needed a smaller brush for this. Seeing that I only have one hand, I'm just going to pour a little on the wound here. And we're just gonna paint that over. Nice and healthy. And I'll do the same thing throughout, especially these cuts here. Make sure I get full coverage. All right, and that should be enough to protect the tree from that trauma it's just endured. All right, guys, that was a pretty down and dirty tutorial, but I wanted to kind of hit two birds with one stone before the sun got down. Some much needed maintenance, and so I just wanted to take care of that now. And as far as pruning, anytime you have something like that, like a water shoot that's taking a lot of energy, pretty much any time is good. The best times, ideally, especially for deciduous trees like that, would be in the spring. Although right now we're going into October, I'd consider this a very late summer prune. And being in Houston, Texas, 9A, we have plenty of growth left. This tree probably won't defoliate for a while now. So it's best to get things like that out of the way so that you're putting growth where you want it. In this case, we have a lot of other grafts. I can go into this tree a little more in another video. I just wanted to touch base on this tutorial really quick. But so we take the energy out of that and we're getting a lot more energy flow into those grafts, which is essentially what we need. As far as the product I use by Ivy Organic, I'll put a promo code below so that you guys can get a little discount on that. And that's gonna be at ivyorganics.com. All right, guys, well, that's gonna do it for today's video. As always, thanks for tuning in. Until next time. Do you wanna make a cameo?
No, I'm good.
All right.